So Gabriel has autism. So we spent the majority of pregnancy really preparing him, which he took to beyond our expectations, I think. Gabe was really prepared to be a brother, and we really, really, as a family, nurtured that and really made sure that he was ready, which he was. He was really excited. But all those preparations really for us to be out of the home for about a day. The plan was we were going to go have Sage. I would come back the next day, bring him in to meet his brother. We would, wait a day or two, and then we'd all come home. And that took months and months of preparation to get that plan and have him feel okay. In the immediate, when everything began to first unravel and we were learning about Sage's condition, Gabe was with Hannah's brother, and who actually was, cared for Gabriel throughout most of Sage's life. We FaceTimed with Gabe constantly, and he actually did come to visit Sage quite a few times in the hospital, which just speaks immensely of his bravery. But
he was very anxious.
Yeah, and there's no way to really explain what was happening, and he would always ask, when's Sage coming home?
Yeah.
And our answer was usually soon, or we're not sure right now. There's no way to. If we were able to be with him fully or have him with us in the hospital, I think we would have wanted to give more information. But because we couldn't be there to help him with whatever information we would be giving, it just didn't seem right at all.
Yeah.
And he was really nervous, and I think our goal was to just make sure that Gabriel was with people that were going to be able to support him in the best ways, because Gabe lives a life that is based on routines.
It's really ironic.
And Hannah and I are...
it's like stunningly ironic and very sad. But Gabriel, he does very much focus on what's expected and has a very hard time inferring or anticipating change, which is, it's kind of like the hallmark of autism. So it adds a layer to it that is incredibly hard to explain. Gabriel was very well cared for while Sage was in the hospital, but when Gabriel would come, we utilized child life help. We did music therapy. We did a lot. Children's has wonderful services for family members, which we utilized. And Gabriel, I think he connected with it as much as he could, but that has been extraordinarily difficult. There are not a lot of people that can really relate to autism and bereavement. Eric and I have found that that's just kind of an unbridgeable chasm. Gabriel's very high functioning, but he's very anxious and has a very hard time expressing what his body feels like. And adding in death to the equation has just totally upended his world. And how he processes things, it's kind of an enigma. Certain things kind of arise, and you can't, they're sometimes unexpected, sometimes it just takes a very long time. But there's been a ton of change. There's been a ton of emotion around him, and he's this amazing kid whose baby brother died, and, a lot of people can't talk about it. And so there's like this thing that's happened, that there's not a lot of, reflection of that in his world. And it confuses him like it confuses us, but it's hard. To be honest with you though, and this is something that Eric and I, it's another reason why I think we've been given the chance to speak, is because we understand when Gabriel was diagnosed with autism, you have to approach it differently. Your expectations for how they operate, for what their mind is capable of, for what they are capable of, and what their needs are, it's different. It's just inherently different. And you have to be clued in. So having Gabriel, we felt, really prepared us for Sage. We felt like it all made sense when Sage got diagnosed, because we had been through everything with Gabriel, and all of it was just like, yes, okay, we're
we
gonna.
already had a different
We had like
view
a
of the
taste of
world.
it, right? And we did. We had a very different view of the world. So I think in some ways, being Gabriel's parents, being Gabriel's mother, prepared us immensely to be Sage's parents, and it has aided us in understanding grief. I do think it's made it at times a lot more isolating, because the need is always there. You know, there aren't really breaks that come from being a parent to a kiddo with autism. So I do feel like we've aged an extraordinary amount in the past 3 years. And it's hard. You can't, it's always there, lingering. There is a lot of anxiety and fear. Gabriel isn't ready to understand all of what death is. He hasn't really asked a ton of questions. I do think it scares him.
Yeah,
Quite a bit.
I think it's really infiltrated everything. I think that Sage's death, combined with just mom and dad being in the hospital and away from him,
Yeah.
having this prolonged time of abrupt change with no real set endpoint and not a lot of information, I think really wiped out a lot of the foundations that he had obviously worked very hard to construct.
I mean, all of us had been
which-
working to construct it. So I think our whole family foundation
Yeah.
really got hit pretty hard. But Gabriel is resilient.
That's okay.